This is like the fourth video in the number series, and today we're gonna go with indices, powers, and roots. And first of all, I'm gonna tell you the rules of indices. So starting off with the multiplication law, where it is written a to the power of n into a to the power of m. So in this case, where there's a multiplication sign, only the powers are gonna go plus, and if the base is same, this law only applies if the base is same. For example, if there's a here and there's a here, these two terms are then only gonna plus. If there's a here, and just for example, let's just assume if there would have been a b here, then this law wouldn't have been implied at all. So I'm just gonna write what I wrote before, a to the power of m, redrawing this line. Alright, so let me just give you an example. For example, 2 to the power of 2, and there's a multiplication sign over here, and 2 to the power of 2. So in this case there are actually two numbers and we know the value, so it would be 4 and the power is going to go plus, so it's going to be 4 to the power of 4. But in any other case, let's just for example assume that this term is actually a, and it is going to be multiplied by another a. This a actually has a power of 2, and this a actually have a power of 5. So when there's a multiplication sign over here, we're gonna plus this 2 and this 5 actually, and I'm gonna write the result here, which is a to the power of 7. Now in the case of division, we actually subtract these powers. For example, let's just write a to the power of 5. When there's a division over here, we're gonna write a square over here, and then we're gonna subtract this from this. So it is a 5 minus 2, which would be equals to a to the power of 3. Now if in any case, if in any case there would have been 2 divided by 4, for example, just assume it is 2a cube divided by 4a square. Now let's just we have to actually cancel out the numbers over here as well. So it's going to be 2 into 1, which is 2, and 2 into 2 equals 4, and then we have to subtract the powers. It's actually going to be a 3 minus 2, and it's going to be 1 upon 4. Sorry, 1 upon, it's actually not 1 upon 4 actually. It's actually 1 upon 2. I wrote it wrong. 1 upon 2a, and it's going to be 1 upon 2a as the power was 1. Right? And in this case, when there's a to the power of n, and this whole bracket's power is actually m, so we're going to multiply this n with this m. So for example, let's just think of 2 square whole bracket power 3. So in this case, the answer would be 2 into 3. You have to multiply the powers over here, which is going to be 2 to the power of 6. Now in this case, it is kind of big complex one. So I'm gonna put a star over here. It's gonna rub it now. So this case is actually a complex one. This m in a bracket is actually the root, or the amount of root. For example, let's just consider 2 1 upon 2 in a bracket. We're gonna put it like this. We're gonna put it like this, and because this is a square root, we're just gonna put 2 over here. But if in case, in the place of this n would have been 3, so we have to power 2 by 3 and then put a square root. If 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 for example, if there would have been a 4 over here, we have to put a quad root. Or if there would have been a 3 over here, if there would have been a 3 over here, for example, so we have to put a cube root over here. So there's actually another law. I just forgot to write it over here. It was like if some number has a power of 0, it is actually equals to 1. So we're just gonna consider that here, and we're gonna solve some questions which I just took out from the exams. Find the value of n in this case, which is here actually. Now we're just gonna find the value of n, which is first we're gonna have to simplify them, which is y 3 plus n, because there is a multiplication sign, so the powers are going to add. We're gonna write y equals power of 6, and it was upon y. We're gonna simplify it more, so it's gonna be y 3 plus n minus 1 equals to y power 6. Now we're just gonna take the powers, and because there's an equals to here, we're gonna have to equate the signs. So sorry, not equate the signs, but equate the powers. So it's gonna be 2 plus n equals 6, and then n is equals to 6 minus 2, which is equals to 4. Alright, and in the second question they are actually uh, asking us to simplify this term, which is 16 y to the power of 8 upon 3 upon 4. So first of all, we're just gonna have to multiply the power. This 8 is actually gonna be multiplying with this numerator, which is 16 y. 8 into 3 is actually 24. We're gonna write it over here, 4 upon 24, and after that we're just gonna um, put it in this. We're just gonna have to you know simplify this 16, as it is a perfect square of 4, and this 24 upon 4 comes here, and we're just gonna simplify by writing 4 square y powered 4. Let me just see it again. Alright, so we're just gonna write, alright, so we're just gonna write 24, and this is a power of 4, and this is a simplified term. Alright, so in this question, given that 2p into 8 power of q equals 2 to the power of n, so we have to express n in terms of p and q. This is actually simple. You just have to make the bases same, and we're gonna put 8 over here. 8 powers q equals 2, and so just notice that two of the bases, this base and this base, is actually the same. So we have to make this base same as well. So it's going to be 2 to the power of q into 2 to the power of 3 q equals 2 to the power of n, and then we're going to equate the powers as the bases are same. So it's going to be p plus 3q, is because this 3 is getting multiplied by this q, equals n. Right, so in this one we have right 2 cube into 2 to the power of 6. It's a single power of 2, so it's actually easy one. When there's a multiplication sign, we have to add the powers, obviously, so we're gonna add them. 6 plus 3 is equals to 9, and this is the answer. Let's just move on to the next question. It is written here that right 3 to the power of 9 upon 3 to the power of 4 is a single power of 3. As because there's a division sign over here, we're gonna subtract the powers, and 9 minus 4 is actually equals to 5. And in the next and in the next and in the next question and in the next question and in the next question it is we have to find the value of n, so it's going to be 5 to the power of n upon, because there's a multiplication sign over here, we're going to have to add the power and write 5 cube. So because there's a division sign and the bases are same, so it's going to be n minus 10 equals to 5 cube, and we're going to write it like this: n minus 10 equals to 3, taking these only the powers, and then n is equals to 3 plus 10, which is equals to 13. Alright, so n is actually equals to 13. So in this one we have to simplify 5x to the power of 5, y to the power 6 upon x square, y4. It is easy because of division sign over here. We're gonna have to subtract the powers: 5 to the power of 5 x 5 into x to the power of 5 minus x square, and y is gonna be 6 minus 4, so it's gonna be 5x power 3 y power 2. This is gonna be the answer. So in this last question they're actually asking us to simplify 2n to the power of 4, and it is in closing brackets, and outside the bracket we have 3. So in this question we're just gonna multiply 4 into 3, which is gonna be 12, and this is actually simplified. So thanks for watching the video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe the channel. Thank you.